Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, family. How are you? I hope all is well in your world. This is your Aunties Could Never, and we are reviewing HBO season 4 of Succession, the final season. Oh my God. Mate, I'm here with my fellow aunties today. I'm Auntie Sade, obviously.
And I'm Auntie Nana.
And I'm Auntie AK.
And we are what some might say, I would say we're super fans, right? Like of this season, like of this show in general, right? Do you know what I mean? Like I think we've definitely like kept up and like had conversations about Succession and gone deep and everything like that. So I think we're in the super fan category. And this is like probably content is a little bit different from us because of the show itself, and it being a drama as well, not a reality show. But yeah, we are going to be reviewing, recapping, and picking apart each episode, you know, scene by scene, getting in the nitty gritty, finding out, you know, what we really love about these characters, the situation, what's happening, maybe even learning some tips about business because boy, these people they be rolling in it. They absolutely rolling it. But yeah, before we get into all of that, remember what we need you to do is subscribe to our channel. I think we need to set another goal. I think we should go for 2,000 followers by the end of April. That's what I would like. Yeah, we agree.
Okay. On Love is Blind review, the episode 1, I did put Road to 2K.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. There you go. There you go. So guys, help us. Are you going to help us get to 2K before the end of April? Please. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure while you're there, just hit a like. If you're already subscribed, like this video now. Make sure you comment, get involved in the conversation. We want to hear your opinions, what you think, what you know, and your takes and everything. And also share this with like-minded people. I don't think, we could be wrong, but there are many people that look like us that are doing this type of thing for this show. So, you know, we know there's a tribe out there. We know there's fans like us. So please, like, get them involved too.
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of where we left off, so obviously season 4, it's the last season where we've kind of left off. And like, if you don't know that much about Succession, you really should. And there's lots of like recap videos out there as well on YouTube and TikTok. But essentially, Logan, who runs Waystar, what is it? Waystar Media? Waystar. Yeah. Royco. Oh, Royco Waystar. Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Waystar. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So he basically was in a bit of a major jam because, and this is the really, really short version, okay? Because there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Because his son, his publicly facing first son, which is really his second son, while Logan was unwell, decided, you know, to take control of the company. The stocks plummeted and they enacted this big loan that they needed to repay. Because they couldn't repay the loan because, you know, Kendall was a bit rude to the banks. He, you know, without his father's permission, while his father was still ill, basically sold a lot of shares that he shouldn't have sold to what turns out to be his father's enemy, right?
Yeah.
And basically, they've been scrambling to get control of the company or get the majority of those shares back within Logan's control ever since. And it seems like, you know, there's tons of stuff that's happened in between them. You know,
that is definitely the shorthand version.
The most shortest, because it's a lot.
It's a lot. You know, Kendall killed someone. Shiv and Tom got married. What was Roman
to watch it?
A lot happened. You literally have to watch it. You can't. It's unfair to expect us to recap it like that.
Basically, there's a lot going on. But I was thinking, how can I sum this up? And I think like the modern way of saying this is basically nepo baby drama. That's what this show is about. Like, you know,
100%.
So
with a psychopath dad.
Yeah.
All in the mix.
Okay. Yeah.
It's given, So it's loosely based on the murders, kind of thing. So allegedly, anyway. So at the end of season 3, we see that Logan has outsmarted his kids yet again, and Shiv was betrayed by her husband Tom. He was actually a Judas. And we start season 4, like literally a couple of months, it seems like, after that has happened. Yep. And it seems like, you know, we've got 2 camps. So we have Logan's birthday soiree, which is very interesting because that's how season 1 started. It was Logan's birthday in New York. And then we've got the kids being Roman, Kendall, and Shiv, all in LA. So the episode is called The Monsters, which was I thought was quite funny as well. So based on like a very I don't know. Well, they're like monsters in real life, aren't they? Like a family of monsters. Basically,
a dysfunctional family.
Yeah, 100.
Again?
A dysfunctional family.
Yeah, that just so happened to be ruling the world, right? Or ruling a portion of the world.
Yeah.
So we see Logan, you know, in his birthday soiree, milling around uncomfortable. What are that was like the first scene. What was your first thoughts? Like, where did you know, what did you think was happening? Did you think of the first episode? Like, what came to mind?
At the birthday, just that bit. I assume, I obviously knew that the kids weren't the main kids weren't going to be there, and at first it was like establishing, he's going to say fuck off and just be like, have disdain for this gathering of people that are there for you, or you know, whatever it's personal or business, they're there for you, and he's just already in full Logan mode. Like, what is this? Why are they here? Could they all just leave now? And I was like, oh, daddy's back.
Still uncomfortable. He's just so uncomfortable. What did you think, Auntie Nana?
You know, he has that thing of like, he would have absolutely have called all of those people round for his birthday, like put that in action, but he still has to be disgruntled.
Yeah.
He always has to put people at an unease everywhere. It doesn't matter what the occasion. You have to then be like, oh my God, look at his face. Oh my God, what do I do? Each time he walked past people, you could see that they were all a bit, no, he's coming. Like, it's just madness. I was like, that is the worst party to go to. But Tom's face is just always a picture. Tom and Logan, like, being around each other just makes me laugh. I'm always
ridiculous.
I can feel his heart. Like, it's like, you know, it's always beating. It's mad. I don't know why anybody subjects themselves to being in Logan's presence.
But you know why? Yeah. You know why? Logan thrives. That's his energy, knowing that people are like on tense about him. He thrives on it. It's like a vampire.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then we had the kids in LA. We had Roman. Say it again.
What do you think?
Yeah, like much of the same, actually. I just think, like, you know, it's Logan being Logan. Like, he's not happy unless people are uncomfortable, you know. And it's just like, I definitely got themes of like he's losing. Do you know what I mean? Like, even though, like, I just thought, like, okay, where's Marsha? Like, you know, she's still not there. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was the first thing. I was just like, oh, where is she? And then seeing Kerry, I was just like, okay, cool. And like, one of the last times we saw, you know, we saw like Kerry's character kind of come into like the main circle was when he had like a urine infection or something. Like, do you know what I mean? When he was like, you know, not at his best, not at his strongest. And I don't know, she reminds me of him being weak. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it just, Marsha for me reminds me of him like being strong and breaking through, and do you know what I mean? Like, doing things that, you know, Marsha taught him how to swim. Do you know what I mean? Like, really being that pillar. Like, so him not having that person, I was just like, okay, it seems like it's good, but I don't think it's good.
Can I just, because I had it laid further down, like, where the hell is Marsha? I don't get where because it's just not clarified, or has it been and I've missed it? It's stressing me out because Marsha is, as you said, the epitome of things being okay.
No, they haven't. I think we are going to get to that. We have to.
Yeah, we have to
have all fixed, but they haven't given us that.
It's just.
It's really annoying, actually. Because the thing is, because like the kind of last couple, I don't know if we haven't even started, but anyway, but the last couple of times that we see Marsha, she's been negotiating for her family. Exactly. And remember, her nephew got like the head of a division in Europe. I think it might have been London. But yeah, so it's just like, you know, I want to see what's happened to those stories. Where do they come into play? Like, did everyone actually sign all those papers? I don't think that's really clear, or whether Marsha still has like the double amounts of seats. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what, you know, it's interesting. So yeah, so there's still things I'm excited that, you know, hopefully we'll get tied up in this season for sure, but there's still like a lot of things to go. So yeah, we see Shiv, we see Roman and Kendall first of all, and they seem to be reviewing logos for a new business called the 100.
The 100. What is the 100? What is the 100?
Well, they don't even know what the 100 is.
They don't. They don't, do they? And then we see, you know, Shiv come in, you know, and they accused her of being a snake, like straight away. Like, I love seeing the siblings together personally, like how they banter and everything. But to me,
the only thing with the siblings is I really wish, and I know it's probably very poignant that they don't, I wish they looked similar. There's some they're so cohesive when they're together. I just wish they had a similar sibling look that they had. But I get they are so free, individual looking. Well, four, but none of them even remotely similar about each other. Probably for a reason, but yeah, that's my only thing. Whenever they're together, I'm always like, I wish you guys look similar.
I get that. They look like cousins rather than the siblings.
Yeah.
I like Shiv came in with typical Shiv, and you know, like this is an introduction to all the characters reuniting us with our faves. Shiv came in with typical Shiv energy, digi, nervous, suspicious, and just like, what am I doing? No, it's just always Shiv energy. She's always on dodgy smoke or appearing to be on dodgy smoke.
Yeah. and getting at things, right? Do you know what I mean? Because even in that one sentence about the security like being racist, like, do you know what I mean? It just goes like, it just really anchors her character. Like, she's not as like them. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Roman is a straight out, like, he's a degenerate, racist, bigot, everything. Right? Do you know what I mean? And Kendall is probably like, you know, I'm on the cusp. I'll do whatever's popular. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought that was like a good way to kind of like, you know, reestablish their characters in that sense and seeing them all together. And then we got an idea that they have, in that moment that they had, written their letters to resigned, haven't technically resigned though. So I thought that was interesting. And, you know, that is still selling, you know, and this is their kind of, them doing this company together is to kind of like still be in that space, but not directly challenging their dad, right? So having something of themselves. And then we go back to the party and you can see Logan's more uncomfortable. Kerry's calling him by a nickname, Logue, which I don't think in previous seasons anyone called him Logue, right? I don't recall that at all.
Just are they banging?
Yes, of course.
Just it hasn't been, it's just implied all the time, right? It hasn't been established that they've actually
were flirting in the last season for sure.
Okay, so we never see him doing anything particularly, but because also the siblings keep on saying, I thought that was like a standard, and the additional giving him a nickname, that man would never allow that from staff.
He seems to melt a little. He's a little bit more warm in her presence. It's just
a tad.
Yeah, he likes her. She has his favor. Yeah, she has his favor for sure. Then Greg arrives. Greg the Egg, my favorite character, I think. He arrives with a date called Bridget. And Kerry introduces herself as Logan's friend, assistant, advisor. Basically.
Everything, all things to all men. I'm all things to all men.
I'm just like, of course you're banging, because there will be no need.
Exactly, to make it clear.
Seriously. And, you know, we see, you know, in that interaction, we see Kerry's power that she has, that she can question Greg the way that she is, that she's like, I'm going to handle it. Logan, you know, Logan basically tells her to handle it, and she does. And, you know, she references Marsha, that Marsha is shopping in Milan forever. So Marsha's out. Which I thought was interesting. How did you think, like, obviously Greg is a fan favorite. Like, how did you like seeing Greg in that moment?
Yes.
Yeah.
The lanky bumbling cousin comes in, bringing an inappropriate guest, and he had a little bar from Kerry when she came at him. He said, "Well, I'm allowed to be here." Like, he kind of like, "I'm allowed to be here. By the way, I'm a cousin." He's like, "I'm a cousin. I'm blood."
You said I'm an honorary kid or something.
Yeah. I'm more or less his favorite. He's like, he wanted to add that bit.
I mean, basically,
the thing with Greg is you're always waiting for him to come along with an ask. Like, he always looks like he's waiting for, can I get an office? Can I do it? You just know he's waiting for something. So yeah, I smiled when I saw him, because I was like, oh, at least he's still around. I wasn't when we saw the siblings, I was like, I don't think he would have jumped ship their way. But as soon as he appeared, it's like, oh, he's still on that side. Like, you know.
Yeah, he's not going.
It's always nice to see him.
Yeah, I love the way they were introducing people, like, especially like when we go back to like the kids, and obviously Shiv gets that phone call from Tom, but like, you know, that makes them, we'll go back to that in a second, but that makes them, you know, push back a meeting that they're having, and you see Jess in the background, and I was just like, Jess is back. Serious. I really want her to have more lines, man. Seriously, I really hope she comes to her own in this one. We'll see.
Really?
Or it could be a battle of the assistants or something like that. Would be really cool.
So.
Her against Kerry. But the phone call from Tom. So Tom calls Shiv, and he starts mumbling about, you know, a possible sighting or reporting of him and Naomi Pierce, and you know, for her to not to think anything about it. It's not social, but it is. Like, it was just like, I just got, my spider senses was all over that. Yeah, I was just like, what is Tom up to? Like, when I saw that, because I just thought, this is weird. What did you guys think similar, or what was you thinking at that moment?
I was more like, oh, okay, they're still talking.
Oh, okay.
After how it ended, it's like, well, how can these two ever speak again? Like, literally, that is it. So that was interesting that they were still talking. But then, more than Tom bumbling, because he's always bumbling, whenever there was that thing of he could be having an affair or something inappropriate, he was always so shit at it. So it's like, what's his standard? I was more surprised at Shiv's reaction.
Yeah.
I was surprised that she wasn't cool, calm, and just like, that she was visibly rattled. I was like, oh, it's coming undone.
Literally, I had the same thing. I was more focused on their relationship, like what their status was, and seeing, and I noted that the power shift between Tom and Shiv, she let her guard down by asking, she was trying not to ask and trying to do her typical, I don't give a damn, fuck you, you're shit, but then she had to, so what are you doing? And that was an absolute power giveaway. And I was like, Shiv is not calm. She's not calm.
Yeah, I just put like, Shiv is losing it. Like, she looked frazzled. Like, when she came back into the room, she looked frazzled. She looked out of sorts, like undone, like definitely not her calm, collected self. Definitely not that. It was just interesting. But then also I was just like, I just wasn't sure, and we'll get to that like as we talk, like whether he done it on purpose or not. Like, I was just like, why did he because she quickly came to that conclusion, working out what that's about, and it's related to her dad and all that kind of stuff. She quickly came that. So I'm just like, well, why did he do that? Like, do you know what I mean? And I wondered whether it was an olive branch or some sort, which
it felt like to me exactly that. I think, because I don't know when I got to realize that, okay, this is a play, but in that moment I was like, he's trying to, here, I'm going to give you a little breadcrumb because I've been so bad and I've been so naughty. But here, let me do this for you, so you know that I'm being honourable in my badness. So I'm kind of gonna redeem myself in some way. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know a secret.
Yes, yes. Because realistically, whoever saw him, them going to Shiv to say anything, those are really big steps that they are going to leap into. I'm going to tell Shiv that I saw like, you know, sweeping. Yeah, he probably was doing a little seed. Like, I'll say her name. You're probably then going to go and speak to Kendall. Like, you know, you guys may find this.
I'm helping you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, but he did put the phone down on her. So I was just like, it threw me off because he put the phone down. I was just like, he threw me off because I was just like,
he's finding his nuts. He's finding like, how much can I play this? He has got a little bit of power, but I just don't trust. I know we can talk about. I don't trust the longevity of his power play, but he has got the upper hand slightly.
Yeah, I think I just think like if he was like, I think last season was about Tom. I think that's the height of the power he's gonna get. Right, last season was just like, do you know what I mean? He's powerful as long as he's useful to people.
Definitely.
Definitely. So then we go back to the party. We see Connor. Connor comes into the mix. It's ridiculous conversation about him polling for at 1%. And you know, Greg there, I just don't know if Greg is actually being cheeky now or like just being innocent. It's just like what's below 0? What's below 1?
It was cute. It was cute. It was also 100 million, like 100 million. That like whoo, like as if that even remotely makes sense to hold on to 1%.
Exactly.
The way they were entertaining this dude, I'm like, come on, please, somebody just laugh. Like, just laugh at him.
Yeah.
He's so unaware, and Willa is gritting her teeth, trying to navigate this union that she's forced herself into.
She doesn't have that power as well.
I know, like we get it, but shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, Willa.
He's harmless.
I wouldn't be surprised if Willa ended up with like Roman or something. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Or even Greg.
Yeah, or even Greg. It's true. It's
actually Greg would be a good, like, that's a good move.
Better for her. Yeah.
She managed to. Roman, boy, that's you know, another psychopath. So that'd be.
But she would actually have to do her thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think like,
But unless you see, because Greg's got he's got that naive manipulation thing. He could be another Logan. He's got the capacity because Greg is cunning.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, the steps too. He's not going to be as
you don't. I don't know. You know,
in a way, but I think he's going to be like that bumbling. Like people are going to think
take him for cool. Yes,
and then he'll swipe you with a smile and just be like, I didn't even know what I was doing, and you've lost everything. Like he's that guy.
He's that guy. So if she was to make a play for him, she should be aware that she can't manipulate him. She won't be able to manipulate him the way she can do or fob him off like she does Connor.
I think Greg is just too much of a coward. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that is ultimately like his character. He's just too much of a coward that he can never, you know, someone will always outsmart him. Do you know what I mean? It's just that he's just been so lucky. Really and truly, like he's just been so lucky. But like, I just don't think he's that. Yeah, he's too much of a coward.
I think he's learning on the job.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I see that. Man.
By episode 5, if we see a switch in Greg, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I just feel like there's so much more to him, and he's shown us threads of it, like little pieces of he ain't gonna take shit.
Yeah,
they step into that, but he'll still be like, I'm an idiot, but
I'm actually
no. I think he'll be in the family, but I just don't think like he's gonna. I just don't see that. I think it's too neat as well. Like if he becomes this all powerful, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I get that.
I don't know. I think he's too much of a coward, too much of an idiot. Like, it's too easy. Like, even, you know, Tom winding him up, like, it's just too easy every single time. Like, so his learning is so, it's like
it's babies, it's incremental steps.
Yeah,
I think like every time he's stabbed, when he heals, he learns something in that healing. It might not propel him to super heights of Logan heights, but I just think he's learning along the way enough to, even if it's just enough to survive in this cold.
To survive. Yeah, I do think that. I would like to see, if we're, you know, talking alongside things I want to see in the season, but I would like to see Greg's mum as well, because she was initially helped it. So she seems like she's got her head screwed on. She knows what.
She's a puppet master behind
it. Player. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So just like, I would like to have seen that, but like, let's see. I don't know. It's a lot to ask for in how many episodes.
It's the final season. We should, every episode should be jam-packed with stuff to keep it. So
with story threads getting sewn up, or you know, wrapping it all up.
So then we have Tom and Logan having a chat, which was a lot of what you was talking about there, Auntie. Just like, you know, it's clear that they made it crystal clear that Logan's still going after Pierce. It's going to close in 48 hours. Tom is thinking again, like, about his own position, like what's going to happen to him, but using way too many words. Like, you know, Logan's not interested in what he's got to say. You know, and Logan basically says, like, as long as you're useful, but no, but no. but no. That's
I'm humoring you here. I'm humoring you.
Basically. And you know, Tom has great lines. Like, I love his language and what he says. Like, he was like, if there's too much emotional shrapnel, I love that, seriously. But I just thought that was their interaction was good, and then Logan topping it off when he gets up and he's like, Tom has gone off his nut. He's literally just poured his heart out, saying that he feels vulnerable, and you're just like, yeah, fuck off.
And then that's a great word, because we see Jerry come back. I just love that, because the way he's like, get him some food, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't remember Jerry was there. Yeah.
I love Jerry.
He's like, Jerry, get him some food
because he's got off his nut.
Cool. And then we go back to the kids, and they start debating whether they are going to stick with what they're doing with the 100s, or they're going to actually, if they have the capacity, if they have the drive to actually go after Pierce instead. And it's like planting this seed. I think like what we see is that Kendall, Shiv, totally on board, and Roman is the one that's just struggling a little bit, you know.
He's always going to be that.
It's always
going to be like, I still would love for my dad to love me.
Yeah.
So, you know, he knows this is, it's one thing, you know, he's always that, he's like that younger one that's like, oh, do I have to? And I'll go along with it. But really, if he could be his dad's number one, he would stab both of them. Shank them straight away. If he could be number one. But,
and love.
Yeah.
Seriously. But I thought, though, I was thinking, like, is this even legal, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, because they are technically the same family. That would be insane for them they would have a monopoly. But then I guess if Logan was to buy it anyway, then it's cool. Like, it happens anyway. But I would think that I guess this is why they have to control the election, because
all of the things. I was just about to say, the monopoly was already established in him even getting Pierce. So it wouldn't really matter in effect, because if they left the company, that would be separating it out a little bit.
Yeah, but it's still the same family, though. That's the thing. So I was just like,
isn't it?
that difference between it's
still I mean, if you think of the Murdochs, that literally is what happened all around the world, though, to own media everywhere. That shouldn't be allowed in this universe.
Yeah.
But we're living through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our reality. Crazy.
Yeah.
Then we get Greg and Tom time, and Greg's, you know, talking about his date. Tom is so rude. Just like
this is
he's
at his worst when he does this.
No, he really is. And I think I was thinking why is he doing this? Because he's unhappy. He wants Greg to also be unhappy, right?
Always.
You know what I mean?
It's the pecking order, isn't it?
Yeah,
Logan does it to Tom does it to Greg.
Yeah.
It's like everybody needs their little bitch.
Every time. And Tom knows that this is all he's got.
This was just, it was just too. One of the lines that stood out for me was that because Tom was talking about the date, Bridget, her name is, the bag. And he was like, what has she got in there? Flat shoes for the subway, her lunch pail. Like, I was just like, wow. The flat shoes for the subway, yeah. I was just like, okay.
She's a peasant, basically. She's a peasant worker bee. She's a worker bee.
All the chat when he's with Greg, though, that's it. He's so annoying because it's like, you see, his mind is always working. He's got literally all the classes, and then you're bumbling when you're next to Logan. Like,
he's a typical boarding school lad. You know, like boarding school, mashed up. Your head was down the toilet constantly, and so you're taking it out on everyone, or people that you felt you had power over.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then we see someone without power, which is Bridget, come over. Just talking about she asked Logan for a selfie.
I was busting up.
But Tom went wrong. When he did, I was like, Tom ain't wrong though. Like,
he's not wrong.
His point was
yeah. What he's doing is that brutal raising of Greg. But he's not like we said, Greg's going to learn and move forward. But Tom is dragging Greg through this. Like, you've got to understand what you're a part of.
Yeah, no,
that
definitely.
Was hilarious.
She probably did have flat shoes though. Like,
she probably did. But this is the thing. Now I'm thinking, like, you know, for this TV show, will I ever carry flat shoes again? I don't know.
No, but this was more of a character. No, businesswomen and their trainers. That's fast. That's what it is. But she was not
making yourself feel better.
No. I'm not taking that. It was a different.
You just see how they judge. These are small insights into what they are going to be looking at straight off. Yeah. Like, okay, and they'll file you in that file.
You will never have just flat shoes because you could have loafers, Gucci. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's the flat. They're talking about like some sort of maybe Primark level, Walmart level, flat moccasin, then just not detailed shoes. That's his reference. They wouldn't be your nice
of course. But it's it's also that you have to change into them and go on the subway. That's what it is. That you can't possibly wear your heels that long because you're just not of that pedigree. You don't know the importance that actually you're not sofa driven. You're not picked up from the door, driven to the other door. Do you know what I mean? Where you don't have to walk. No, you
all of those differences.
It's so layered.
Yes, there's levels, and it sums her up completely. Even her name's being Bridget, anyway. In that instance,
really? Why? What's wrong with Bridget?
Well, for one, you would be judging because Bridget, it's like Germans, they're Spanish. Like, you would be able to sum up
who
family names, especially at that echelon. They're going to be very similar. Anybody outside of that, you're going to have a summary. It's going to be filed. Like, at the best, he's thinking she's middle class. That's too low. So he's already like, this isn't
interesting. But yeah, her and her lunch pail.
She must have had a stick with a handkerchief on it. That's literally
Honestly. So we kind of go back and forth like quite quickly with like Nan wanting to speak to Shiv and then, you know, thinking that she should take the call. Obviously, we've seen in previous seasons that Nan really likes Shiv, especially because of her politics. So I like the way they fit that in from the beginning. Anyway, like to like she's different from everybody else. And then we see Logan really, really grumpy as hell, and him leaving the party, right?
With his security guard.
Yeah, with his guard. But before we get there, I think like Roman, it's really established then that Roman really doesn't want revenge, right? So Shiv does want revenge on Tom, and Kendall wants revenge on her their dad, basically. So yeah, we see Logan. I guess we're in New York. They go. I think it's Central Park that they're walking through, and you know, he starts talking. They go to this cafe or restaurant, and he starts talking about people in a way that I can't like. I've never heard people talk about humans as economic units. Breaking it down to his bodyguard, saying that his bodyguard is his pal, his best pal, and it just really, really for me was just showing how lonely, isolated, and alone that Logan is, and that even though he may be winning, he's not actually winning in life, and by his own admission, right? This is not, you know, I don't think this is what he kind of sees for himself, but he's like almost showing that he's not thinking like regular people. If you know, people are economic units, and economic units make up a market, then everything's a like what?
That's how he's treated people. That's how he's seen it. Everything can be sold and bought.
I really thought that was so interesting, because I'm sure there is some type of paper that describes humans like that. It sounds like such a formula that one of the writers has probably been like, this is really how people talk in these market spaces. And that's exactly how they see us human beings.
Yeah.
And then the vacuous existence of he has no connection with human beings. Like your own kids are literally repulsed by you and are always trying to take you out. Can you imagine that? It's not the enemies out there, you know. Your own kids are the ones that are trying to chop you constantly, and you're chopping them. So that's super lonely.
But I do think he respects it in a weird way.
He does. He wants them to win. He wants them to win, though he doesn't want them to win. But the competition, if they're shit, it's showing his weakness, and that's his failure. If they don't win, that's his failure. That's why he gets so mad with them when they do stupid things.
Yeah. And you see him like this conversation then turns into his own mortality, right? So he starts thinking about like if there's anything after this, like you know, you can see, you know, your bodyguard, I can't remember his name now. I can't remember. It's like Connor or something. Not Connor. Colin, maybe Colin. Yeah. He's, you know, says, oh, you know, his dad's religious. Then Logan interrupts him, doesn't let him finish the sentence. Like, that's not your friend. Like, do you know what I mean? That's not your best pal. Like, you know, and he can't, he's not even talking in the same way you're talking. You're not discussing, you know, in the same kind of level. It didn't seem to be a level of intelligence, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't seem like that. And, you know, but he was saying he doesn't think there's anything after that. His conclusion, he doesn't think there's anything after life, right? So it was like,
I hope so. That's his hope.
He hopes so.
Yeah.
Because he knows we're at the top of the pile of the burning pyre that's underneath there. If that's there is something.
I think like maybe that's like was setting the seeds in terms of like maybe him starting to try and think different, because oh, go on, what was you gonna say?
I want to get to the, because I don't know if we're there yet, but I had a theory about what I think might happen with him in this conversation. But
let's get to the end and do that. But like, I just think like it was interesting. I don't think he's really talked about in his own mortality in that way before. Like, I think he gets annoyed when his kids, you know, are like considering after he passes. Do you know what I mean? But like him, you know, and also as well, like, so remember season 1 he was 80, right? And so I don't know how it is, maybe 82, 83, maybe. I think he said maybe 2 birthdays. So it's taken you this long to think maybe I should think about what I'm doing.
It's the illnesses though. It's the illnesses that would definitely make him start to think about mortality and getting weaker as well. Like, actually, can I keep on fighting all of these different people? that would set it in motion. But you know, as people get older, the loneliness it takes over. Like you are gonna think. So even if I die, who's coming to my funeral?
Right.
Well, loads of people go to his funeral, but I don't know if he can.
You know they're not there for you. You know it literally. That turns into a business opportunity. Like it's all of those.
There'll be networking at his funeral.
Yeah, business deals will be made. Stock markets will crash, which they did when he was in the hospital the first time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. We see Kerry. So Kerry's basically worried about her geriatric man, and she calls the kids. Do you know what I mean? And the kids, you know, are rude. They're rude, man.
Roman just doesn't miss a barb. He doesn't miss a stinger.
But it was actually Shiv, because Shiv said it, Roman repeated it.
To be fair, it's the best that he never not says what somebody
will have to. Regardless.
So she because they were near the helicopter, the plane and stuff, she couldn't hear, and it was just like, "Can you hear me?" And Shiv says, we would hear you better if you took your dad's cock out of your mouth. That's what she
said. This is
and
where we're at.
Roman repeated to make it clear. Yeah. What was very great, like, piece of acting was the pause. Like, I can't process. I can't. I just can't. I don't even have the tools to process this. Just ignore. just
Can you imagine somebody saying that to you though? Like, you're on the phone, like, and they they repeat, like, what would you can't come back from that. It's like, it's either I beg your pardon or you keep it moving.
And she knows full well if she begs her pardon,
say it louder.
Say it again. And add things. We'll even add things to make it worse.
Honestly, I was just like, wow, that might be the best line in the show for me. I can't lie. It was just so dramatic. And so then we have Connor. Connor trying. So actually, sorry, that conversation was basically Kerry trying to get the kids to talk to their dad. And she was saying, "Oh, he could I can arrange a text." I'm just like, no. Yeah. We're gonna have to get his voice.
Imagine.
Basically, you're just gonna text them, aren't you? Like she is going to text them.
That's stupid. And I just thought, come on, Kerry, do better. You got to do better.
I can definitely arrange a text. What is that? A text to say, "Can you guys call me?" Like,
how would you phrase it exactly? What would you say? Hey guys, miss you. What are you gonna say?
Exactly. And then we have Connor basically talking to what's his girl called again? Willa. Yeah. She talking to her about, you know, he wants to do a wedding, and he wants to do it under the Statue of Liberty, basically to get press. And it's just like, come on, man, but then I was just like, well, you do have an arrangement, so I don't know, maybe it's your job, kind of thing. I just, you know, she was like, oh, I always wanted a nice wedding. I was just like, oh, babe, I don't know if you're gonna get that.
I lament. It's nice.
Yeah, I felt for Willow in that moment. And then
I don't feel for her, you know. I feel like
no,
she's an undercover, power hungry girl as well. Yeah. Like, literally, I'm like, I don't feel for her. She's got the best sibling, and she's gonna get everything that she wants. She's literally probably stacking cash every single day.
Yeah,
but she's not mean, and she's not like a bitch. Like, she's not like Tom, right? Who basically married Shiv for power. Like, I know that they had something, but like, if Shiv didn't have that power and that position, like, you know, like, he wouldn't.
Like Tom, just acts out in a different way. But
she doesn't like Connor. She doesn't respect him. She's enduring for the bag.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Shiv?
No, exactly. But we've talked about Tom. Willa is the same bracket, just not doing. She despises him. If it goes forward, it'll be literally those power marriages, those power unions, and he knows deep down, he knows that this woman is and he's also, this is where his power play comes in. Like, you want my money, I'm going to make you do the most ridiculous things for it. I know you don't love me, but this is what it is.
Because at one point she did ask, like, you know, you'll still have money, right? Like,
exactly. Like, so if you spend the minute you're still rich, basically. He's like, and if he was like, no, we would need to be hustling, she would have turned around and been like, bye guys.
But I do feel like, I don't know.
Like, I know what you're seeing. That kind of, I love him. In the end, there's a little bit of we'll stay together.
She loves
no, not even that. I just feel like, even though that is your situation and you've chosen it, I feel like she's doing the work, she's doing the job, right? Like she's you know, like letting him, you know, be president.
What choice does she have?
1%.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so I do feel like, because I'm just like, oh, you're never gonna get any joy. Like, you do have the lifestyle. You're not going to get any actual joy.
No, she needs to sack those things.
She was a struggling actress / waitress girl, right? Yeah. And she landed.
Call girl. She was a prostitute.
Girl, so yeah. This is, and then this is probably what she was researching. Who can I get? Which is fine.
Yeah, she's got a clean record and stuff and everything. Yeah. Then we get to Greg and Tom, who have somehow called themselves the Disgusting Brothers, which was just very surprising to me. Like, really, Greg? Really? Like, I don't know. For Greg, I was just like, Tom, nothing.
Remember season 3 when they had that chat and he was like, I'm gonna like sell my soul. Like, he was like, so you're gonna come on the side?
Yes.
Like, all of that. So yeah, Greg's in it now.
But like, yes, I don't know. I just think but this is what I'm saying. Is like calling himself the Disgusting Brothers would mean that they're having, like, they're both not that even. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you're having like rampant sex and like you're good at it, and do you know what I mean? Like, girls are flocking to you. No, like, Tom, let's not forget that you swallowed your own load, and you know, do you know what I mean?
This is epitome of, again, even like that boarding school guys, you lot are the dweebs, you're the nerds, and you're gonna have like a rap group. This is what it is. Like, they're actually that. They think they're gangsters.
Yeah, and they're absolutely not at all.
Right.
Tom talks about, you know, his day that they just done it. So just exaggerating, they just done it in the room, and you know, Greg, and then Tom basically is winding up Greg, just saying that he's accidentally made a sex tape because Logan's got, you know, cameras all over the house, which I thought was really interesting, because isn't that what Jeffrey Epstein had, cameras all over his house as well? That was like a very interesting reference there. Do you know what I mean? And like that, you know, Tom, and so Greg has now got to tell Logan that this has happened, but before, you know, Greg confessing, oh no, it wasn't actually full sex, it was just them, you know, wanking each other off, basically.
But also, it's the fact he's like, I want to get
really that disgusting. But anyway,
why would you call the girl crunchy peanut butter? What is the sexual?
Because he loves peanut butter. That's why. It was just like,
I was like, what is
that he loves?
Oh, she's like, crunchy peanut butter. Like, what the fuck? Okay.
But that was just Tom and Greg being Tom and Greg, and you know, Tom setting up Greg for later. Kids go and meet Nan. They hop on the plane and go and meet her, and basically they're greeted by Naomi, who is Kendall's ex, rumored to be dating Tom, but not really. And
she looks really different, right?
Older a bit.
Yeah, like very different.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nan wasn't available and made them wait some minutes because she had a headache, which is what they made the people wait for them when they were going to do the meeting earlier, kind of thing. So it was just like a mirror of that. And it was different surroundings. I like the different setting, just like what do you call it? Like just extravagant, and stuff. It was just lovely. Then you see the exec team. So Jerry, Frank, and Carl. Good to see them all again. And they find out, you know, Tom like basically covers the fact that it was him that grasped, but they find out that, you know, the other bid is possibly coming from the kids, and they basically just squabble over who's going to tell Logan. Say again.
Saying as always, I just love that. It's like they're back there bickering. Who's going to tell Logan?
Yeah,
it's just familiar, isn't it? Like, and Tom is clearly playing both sides. That was my note. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just thought, like, yeah, this is where I was just like, yeah, Tom, what are you playing at, man? Like, what's going on? Like, what are you really doing here? Are you trying to fuck this because you're not secure? So you was trying to get it secure. So you was hedging your bets, and you thought, let me try and, you know, sort something out there.
That's exactly his. But I was surprised when they were having their little chat that they didn't turn on Tom quickly, like you did this.
I thought they'd get that.
Like you did this, but they seem to be way more concerned with leaving the area, so that they wouldn't be in sight line when he turned around off the telephone call. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, Tom, you're the worst. Like, and him even just being like, it could be anybody. It was like,
that's stupid throwaway line. That's so bait. Yeah.
I didn't like that either. But Carl ends up telling Logan, like, not saying it directly, just be like, you think it could be? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, what do you think?
Well, the kids. It's even that they call them the kids is like, oh my God, like you're still like, they're just the children. Like, the kids.
And like Logan basically just explodes in that moment. And this is the same moment that Greg is coming up to tell Logan about his, you know, accidental sex tape. And like, Logan's like, what? He's just like, I need to talk to you in private.
Man, just
Logan always knows it's going to be nonsense. It's like, I swear deep down he's getting titillation from it. Deep down.
Yeah. He loves it. He really does. And then we see, you know, Greg explains off camera, and then Colin comes, the bodyguard, and he's just like, you know, the date's got to leave, you know. And then you see the cowardice behavior from Greg. Do you know what I mean? Greg, he's just like, oh, you got to tell her to leave. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just go, and you handle that. You leave.
But that's him mirroring, because Roman did that when he had the chick that wasn't appropriate. What didn't Roman get someone to get? Kendall, sorry. Kendall did that as well.
I don't know if Thingy knows that, but I just think like it's just
I don't see it as a weak. I don't see it as a weakness in his character for that, because I think, do you know what? Why am I going to put myself through that? She don't mean nothing to me. Go tell her. It's not, and it's him executing power over Colin because he's a honorary child at this point. I think it's like a little
I didn't see it's him. No power over Colin. I just thought he's just like, I've got a way out here. Let me just get out here. Now, do you know what I mean? Colin's gonna do, because Colin was exerting power over him, like in the sense of like, what gave him an out, like, are you coming with me? Like, do you know what I mean? So it's just like Colin is definitely the one that holds power in that relationship.
I just thought Greg was flexing slightly. He didn't need to. So he's like, I have to do this.
Cowardly. And then we have so like then we get into the bidding war. The kids talk with Nan, you know, talking about they have a preferred bidder. They're talking in code. We know what's what. Do you know what I mean? We know it's Logan against them, and they basically try and convince her. Shiv, in that conversation, says she's getting a divorce. You see the look from Kendall, like, this is news. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is going to happen.
Yeah, told us about this.
And also, sorry, just because earlier on when they had her and Tom have had that conversation about being separated, right, on the phone or something.
Yeah.
Just separated. So it's like, for us watching, separated. When did this divorce decision come?
Yeah. I think in that moment.
Yeah. Exactly. She knew that would turn the tide for Nan, because Nan obviously brought it up. Do you know what I mean? That you're still married to, you know, the head of AT.
Enemy, basically.
Then we have this weird kind of situation where we flip back to Logan, and Logan's, you know, saying that the area is, you know, it's dry. It's dry. Like, what's going on? Everything is dry. He wants to be roasted. And it's just so awkward because obviously no one wants to roast him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? No. And again, Frank just said what not to do. Yes. Exactly. Frank says some nonsense, and then Greg just caves under the pressure. He just caves under the pressure. Seriously, because first of all, he's like, "Oh, you're a mean old man." Then he's like, "Where are your kids? Where are your kids? They're not here." And then Logan immediately, "Where's your dad sucking cock at the fair?" Woo, Logan.
I mean,
relax.
He wanted that. He wanted to have a little.
Yeah. He needed to get that. That's the feeling. It's like his heart. It's so stoned. It's like you got to bash it to get something even pumping with him. Like he needs big, big explosions all the time.
But this is why he has a soft, wherever his soft spots are for Greg. Because out of everyone, Greg still came with a barb. That was a line.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I think this was showing me that he misses Roman. And I think that Roman is also like the one that's the most similar to him. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like saying those cutting things with no remorse. Like he usually instigates that stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's just like he shown Logan missing his kids, you know, that his life is different without them. So they go back and forth on the negotiation. Logan makes Tom call Shiv. Roman is clearly the better negotiator out of all of them. Do you know what I mean? However, they end up winning basically because they wanted to go from, I think, what do you call it? Logan lowballed at 6 billion. You know, they wanted to go to 9 billion or something like that. And then they ended with the kids offering 10 billion, which sealed the deal. Roman was not happy about that amount though. And I think that is an indication of it's going to come back to bite them.
I was like, where are they getting this money from?
He's gonna freeze all the assets.
Well, it's dependent. The caveat is if the sale goes through, then they get money from the Go. I can't remember what it's called. The company sale there, they get money from that, but that sale hasn't gone through yet either. So there's multiple layers to this actual thing. Do you know what I mean? So if because that's what their advisor Telly or something was saying on the phone, that they should that's why they needed to check in to just make sure that they've got enough assets between them to be able to do it. So if that sale doesn't go through, they're not going to have this money anyway. Do you know what I mean?
It is a lot.
Yeah, but 10 billion, that's like, you know, Roman really pointed out, like, you know, like $500 million is still half. Do you know what I mean? 500 million. Like, you know, it's a hell of a lot of money. Like you don't need.
They could be absolutely screwed going to 10 billion. I was like, these kids are so annoying. Like if I was their dad, I would be like, you're so annoying.
Yeah.
That's why he was so angry.
Yeah.
He was again another dumb move, but it also excited him. He's excited because now he's going to go and plot.
Yeah. But it's also I think it goes to the theme of like winning but losing. Like you won but you lost because you overpaid for something. Do you know what I mean? That it was supposed to, you know, over $1.5 billion overpaid, really and truly. So it was just like, ridiculous. And you would think that Kendall would know better, but like he still doesn't. Like Roman is actually, when it comes to negotiation, it's about Roman. Ideas, I think it's Shiv. Kendall, I'm not too sure.
I don't even know if Shiv has ideas. At this moment in time, I'm really like, Roman is actually the smartest
guy. He's the guy.
He's learned a lot because he was shit before, but he's learned more than them in business. Shiv is still she's a bit like Kendall. They're too impulsive. And she's driven by hate all the time. Whereas Roman doesn't seem to have the hate thing. He's more fueled by winning. And they're two different strategies. I feel for him kind of being on their side because I don't think the minerals to win.
Yeah, those two, and those Kendall and Shiv are driven by entitlement as well. They're very much entitled babies. Like this should be mine, and so they're not thinking. They just think should all the time.
Yeah, I think Roman's the same. Like Roman doesn't. Roman's the worst when it comes to that. Do you know what I mean? Like he's the most entitled out of all of them, really. Do you know what I mean? Like he's the absolute worst. I think Shiv is probably the most down to earth, and Kendall will do his research to kind of see like he's an everyman. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Kendall totally thinks he's the man of the people. Like,
he really thinks
the man of the people.
He's that guy who hang with rappers, hang with everybody, and I'm the cool. Like, he's proven.
Basically, yeah. I know the culture. I'm here. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, you don't. Know. Like, exactly. You travel by helicopter. No, you don't. Like,
he'll take a helicopter to the hood to go to a hip hop concert, and he'll be like, "I'm down with you guys." That's that guy.
You know who he is? He's probably Prince Harry.
Yeah,
Kendall is Prince Harry. So you're literally like, I am the man of the people. Everybody gets me, but it's still the same shit. You're still entitled. You still have the same type of thing, but you display it in a different way.
Yeah. See, the thing is, what I like about Shiv is that at least she's worked, right? Like properly.
She's put in the trenches.
Like, she has, do you know what I mean? She is a Nepo baby as well, but she's actually worked, had a career, had wins on her own outside of this world. Whereas them two, like, absolutely not. Kendall, I think I would probably say Kendall is probably the most. Is he the most? I just don't know. I'm struggling between Kendall and Roman.
The most entitled.
Roman just doesn't. Roman is just horrible, though. That's the thing. I think that's what it is. Like, he's just a horrible person, and people are inconsequential to him. Like, he's just not. Like, he just doesn't care. You know, the rocket. You know, people. The rocket exploded. You know, he just wanted to bury. It was almost like, oh, okay, that's not happening. Like, do you know what I mean?
You know what it is? I've been a little bit romanticized by Roman because when he's at his most vulnerable and nicest with his siblings, because that's where he falls back into I'm the youngest. You're my favorite siblings. I love you guys. And I just want that unit. So in this moment, seeing him in there, you get the warm, nice Roman with the Roman that he could be.
Yes, true.
And we understand why he is the way he is. It's brutal. Like, he has sick parents, mother and father. Like, and it's like he's been brought up in the worst house ever, and all he has is coping mechanisms. Like, he can't actually feel. He can't allow himself to feel properly. So he's always suppressing. That's why you have this shell of a man now. And the only way he can feel is to win. And the only way Logan can feel is to battle against something. So it's a horrible family. Nobody wants to marry into them only for money. It's like, it's the worst place.
And the fact that Roman does love he obviously has to love his siblings, but they make, was it Kendall made him go in the dog cage as a game? Dog kennel as a game?
Well, it's confusing because Connor and Kendall, do you know what I mean? Are saying different things about that. Yeah. So it was a game, but then it might not have been a game because the dad was saying something like, do you know what I mean? Like, them competing and everyone knows who the alpha dog is and stuff. So we don't know, but it was dodgy.
Either way,
and also the gender roles, isn't it? Because the fact that Logan has dismissed Shiv, as it were, like, you're a woman, you can't make, and it's very typical of society that women, when we feel that, we go and sort our lives out on our own, and the boys tend to be so pampered and babied, even in this brutal environment where they don't know, they've lost their plot, they don't know how to survive because they expected to win, they expected to succeed, and Shiv goes off and finds herself, as typical women behavior, I think, just having to go and figure it out.
I would like more time developed with Connor, because as the eldest, he's kind of like really, as a character, just being poo-pooed to the side and like, you were stupid, so nobody even spent any time on you. But he's also seen a lot as well, so it's like I would really like Connor to just be a little bit more involved in some way, fashion, other than the ridiculous president race. I would like to see that.
Yeah, it's true.
We're going to see something. I think we're definitely like, because I do think like actually Connor more than Greg even is the one that's just like, okay, I'm being nice, but if you fuck with me, my claws are gonna come out. Like, do you know what I mean? He's exercised that so many times. Like, when they, taking the wedding picture, when they didn't want Willow to be in it, it's just like, I'm gonna roll on the floor. When he wants more money, do you know what I mean? Like, every now and again, he just comes with a vicious one. If it's like too much for him, like, you know, and he plays this like, oh yeah, I'm cool, I'm just flowing with things. No. But yeah, speaking of flowing with things, like we see Shiv go to the apartment, very big, lovely, luxurious apartment, seemingly empty. They're in there by herself, and then we see the dog, not recognizing her anymore, and then we see Tom. And it's just like they have this really interesting conversation where they actually don't talk about their issues at all. She doesn't want to talk about anything. In that moment, I think like it was almost like she was basically saying they're definitely gonna get a divorce now. Do you know what I mean? That separation has come to its limit. So even though she had this win of the day and she's won against her father and won against Tom, she's still losing. And we see like, Shiv being as vulnerable as she can be, because she's definitely got blockers there for sure. And I did watch something on YouTube, I can't remember who it was, and it was just like saying that they think that Shiv wants Tom to, fight for it, but he's so exhausted, he's so like he can't, deal, so he doesn't. He doesn't like.
He's not.
I think with Shiv, she loved that one of those. She loved that he loved her unconditionally. So she literally had a best friend that would be her ride or die, and she didn't know how to hold on to that. Because if you're constantly playing games and he's playing games, it doesn't really work. And it's actually a shame that they couldn't get on the same page. And throughout the season, we always saw them. It's like they were almost there, like Bonnie and Clyde. And then he would kind of be like, but she could disband of me, so I have to. He always had to have contingencies in there. And it was like, actually, now she needs him. Like they need each other, but really at this moment in time, she kind of needs him a little bit more than he needs her.
Yeah.
So if she could just get it together to even just keep him around a little bit, like even if it was dangling, but I think he's so far over her.
I don't think he's so far over her though.
I don't know. She'll have to give so much more.
Yeah, it might be that. Or I think there's something. I think there's a move for them because and again, it's whether or not they give us a neat, happy ending.
What would a neat, happy ending be?
With that, they're still together because there's emotional ties from the fandom for Tom and Shiv to make it. There is. So I think there's going to be a real negotiation. If they go that way, it'll be a real negotiation because there's something about them being separated for good permanently that doesn't work either.
I feel you.
The world that we're in with them, it's been too much of
I don't know. I just don't think I don't mind them divorcing. No, like I think they would still sleep with each other if she wants to. But like I just don't. The fact is that he, even when Shiv wasn't involved in the company, like she had to negotiate on his behalf. She always had to like push and get him in the room, get him his position, like always. And that she would literally be doing that for the rest of her life. But he doesn't want that. Even in her moment when her dad chose her, he was like, what about me? Not I'm happy for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like she knows that and she understands, he's a snake. He's that guy, and even though he's her guy, he will still and did snake her. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like she would literally be marrying someone who has the potential to be her dad. But
also that's sorry. But then also I thought that's reflective of Logan. Like Logan loves how he loves, and he's pitting his kid against him and himself, and the power play. So this might be actually Shiv's moment of like, oh, okay, a man's actually got vim. Finally, he's done something. Does she respect the move? And that's what's unraveled to her as well. She's like, wow, he's actually, after everything I've done, everything I've said, how I've treated him, this is the power play that might make me respect him, because she's so physically shook and rattled by this potential rock of hers turning his back on her.
Yeah.
And she's known he's a snake. He knows she's a snake, but they've vibed off that.
Yeah.
But when he's her minion, right? Do you know what I mean? That's when it works. So he knows like you are beneath her. Like, do you know what I mean? You are beneath her. Like, he's trying to rise up to say like, oh, we can be equals, but it's just like there's nothing in this world that he could give that is as much as she's given him. Like, it's just impossible. He would never be able to catch up. So I don't know. I think she may respect it, but for her and how her relationships need to be, like even with the other guy, like, do you know what I mean? Like Nate, for example, kind of thing. They couldn't be, even when they're working together, they couldn't be on the same level. She was like, I can work with him, but he's not working above me. Do you know what I mean? And even in their sexual relationship, she called the shots at all times. Like, so I can't see that changing for her. And this betrayal is like,
I think it's way too much. I don't think it's even, I think there may be a bit of a, oh, he has something about him, but I think she's always seen that in him, that there's something about him. But it is, you know, I think even in one of the seasons, she did kind of tell him, like, don't kind of get above your station. Like, she has had to,
she does do that.
To be like, you know, it's me first type of ladder rung. And Tom obviously wants to be above. So
it's just similarly to Logan, it's just how is she going to deal with this emotional unraveling? So she either goes, shit, I've not felt this before. I need to fix up because this is the guy. She might do that. Or she'll be like, okay, I'm going to figure out who I am in this space because I've never allowed myself to be this vulnerable and emotional. Logan's in the same space.
Destroy him. She is her father's daughter.
Well, this
he is going to be like, I need to now annihilate him.
The thing is, it depends, right? So will Shiv get pregnant, for example? Like, we don't know. Like, you know, it could just change the dynamics of things. But I just don't think that I don't think that she is going to be like, oh, now I love Tom and he's my world. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think so. If they have anything, it'll be for convenience or like for but empty, not like I don't think
agreement on this.
She's not going to turn to Mary Poppins, but it's going to potentially. He's shown where she's felt it. He's shown something, so now she's like, oh, okay, actually. But it depends.
I hope there's someone else. I really want Tom to fall. I want him to fall for Grace. Because he's too nasty, he's too, do you know what I mean? Like, he's horrid. He is horrid to everybody, do you know what I mean? And he has no alliances, and I feel like he needs to fall from Grace, and I think Greg needs to be like, do the final kick and be like, sorry, Tom. Do you know what I mean?
That would be the thing. That would be it. It would be it.
Because the thing is, it's just like, I think hopefully that conversation with Logan is setting up how disposable Tom is going to be. Like, I think that, and actually the world just carries on without him.
That would happen. I mean, for when they were setting him up to be the fall guy to go to prison,
that's been established from Job.
And she was fine with it as well. Like, literally,
she said, man up, just take it. It's fine. A couple of years, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but he should. I don't know. That's the thing. It's just like, you want, like, do you not know your wife then? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just weird. Like, you know, this woman is a cutthroat. Like, I do think, Anyway, the last scene was of Logan, him watching his own news channel. You know, he was not impressed by what he saw. I can't remember what he said, but something about
impressed.
A turd or a toupee, or
No, was it scrotum with a toupee? Was it something like that?
Something like that. And then he called Sid, who previously has been co-lead of ATN with Tom. So I don't know her position now. Probably still the same, I'm guessing. But yeah, he called her to say, you know, he was unhappy. He wasn't, you know, it seemed like he woke her up out of her sleep as well. And yeah, so I just wondered if that nodded to, like, you know, well, two things: whether he's like in the mood of things that, okay, things need to change, and he's finally understanding that. Also, the other thing was, remember this? Like, I think it was season one. It was season one, where Sid and Tom got his new position, and Sid and Tom went back and forth, and they had this conversation. And, you know, Tom was like, you know, I've got the ear of Logan, and Sid was like, you know, if you think Logan tells us what to do, you're wrong. And then we see this scene of literally Logan telling her what to do. Do you know what I mean? Telling her what a problem is. So it's just like this pretend notion that the guy in charge has no editorial control, no input into what goes into the shows is just like a falsity, right? Do you know what I mean? They dispelled that myth. So I just wondered whether, you know, this is going to be like tie into like his thinking about his mortality and like what he's leaving in the world, and whether things need to change in that as well. So yeah, it was just, yeah. What did you guys think?
Maybe.
I might have still been with Shiv and Tom at that point. I was like, okay. But it's just, I wish I could get into the minds of the writers. What's Jesse thinking? What's going to happen? Because like
they're going to go in. I
don't
know.
And be like, this is the world we'd like to live in. It makes me think of with Good Fight just went off, and it's totally different. They went into this kind of dreamlike state of what the world could be and should be. And I wonder if they'd do that or just be very brutal to the end with us. And it's like, this is the world we live in. Because you can get
I think so. I think like, I don't know most of Jesse's work, but like Peep Show, for example, is just very real to the end, right? Do you know what I mean? Like every episode, obviously it's like completely different genre. Do you know what I mean? But like that kind of, it does have that realism like type style of things, like this is how things are, even when it is ridiculous. But yeah, I think nothing's going to be fair. It's going to be injustice. The bad guy's going to win. Like whoever. But in this case, which goes back to the title, the monsters, they're all bad guys.
Yes. That's the whole thing. It's picking, it literally is pick your monster.
Yeah. It is. They made us fall in love with some terrible people.
All of them are the worst. And I don't know if it's just because she's a woman and maybe more liberal, but she literally is the type of liberal that I really don't like.
Yeah.
But out of them, I think I lean more to liking Shiv.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, I want Roman to win.
I think in the end, I think like Kendall could be a bit more rational in a moment. If he just lets go of all the foolishness and trying to one up on his dad and all that type of stuff. I think Kendall seems to be the more human one somewhere. Shiv's got it, but she's got that I don't know. Between Kendall and Shiv, I think is for me.
Oh mate, I think I'm Team Shiv. You know, I'm Team Shiv because Kendall, to me, he's a murderer and a complete nepo baby and a drug addict. So no, and what you call it, Roman is just foul. He's a racist. He is a racist. Like, do you know what I mean? He doesn't care about people. He's not empathetic, or has any compassion or anything like that. So no, I think Shiv is probably the most likable. I just think like, even though she's young in the business, because that's the main thing against her, she doesn't have the experience, as they keep on saying. I think she'll figure it out. I think she will actually figure it out, and she'll probably put good people in place, and she can be cut for it when she wants to, and she is loyal ultimately to her family.
Overall, I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm so intrigued for how they're going to do this and wrap it all up. I know probably by the end, we're still going to be vexed that it's ending.
Yeah.
They'll leave us on that.
I'm so glad they're making this. I'm so glad they're making this decision, but I don't know what to end.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question. My question for this episode is, what joke would you have told Logan?
Mate. Well, he wanted a roast though.
He wanted a roast, yeah. What would you say?
How would I have
said, just die. Somebody said something like that. Yeah.
It probably would have been something around his death, like anybody want to take any guesses how many people would actually mourn for him? Like just something really like that's going to be very nasty on his birthday.
I said, where's Marsha? The world was much better when Marsha was around.
I think we'll go around, or like, is he popping Viagra for Kerry or something?
Yeah.
Or hopefully it's not getting in the way of his other medication or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Are you still able to get it up? Like just something. Like
something. Oh my gosh, sorry. This keeps happening.
No worries. And what would you give this episode out of 10?
It's a good episode, you know.
I thought so.
A 7 for me.
Yeah,
I'm thinking an 8.
okay.
I think it was a good for setting pace. I thought it was really good. Like it was. If every episode has a lot going on, like today's one, this episode 1 does. This should be a brilliant season.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. I think I'm on 8 as well. I just feel like we saw all of our favorite characters. We kind of got the mood. It wasn't like too far-fetched. I just think like annoyingly, but I don't see how they could do anyway. Like we're still on this story of like the company. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like, yeah, I just think that is probably the thing that takes it away from me. Like I want more. And I really want some of these loose ends to be tied up. Like I just want other family members. I want, something. What would be interesting is if they Game of Thrones it and like kill Logan on like episode 4 or something. That would be interesting. Like,
well, this is how I felt like Logan is something like he would do something. I'm dying.
I was just thinking, I was like, that would turn it round, wouldn't it? Because that would a whole new gauntlet, and then obviously the siblings are going to implode.
Yeah, and start fighting their corners. There was something about the way that Logan was acting, something about him coordinating his death. Maybe just something like, you know, I'm literally going to die on the 13th of April, 2026. And then setting shit in motion. I can just see him doing that as the ultimate fuck you.
Oh, that would be so interesting. That actually would be a good season end. That would be good.
Yeah. So we just see them fight and the siblings fight out.
Oh my God.
And the win and loss, that him knowing that you guys are going to win, but you've lost your powerhouse, and I know that's going to fuck you up. You got to sort it out.
You don't have the ultimate spectator of you winning. That's what they want. His eyes. So
they want his blessing, right? They want him.
Yeah, to prove
they all have doubts that he never chose any of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forever, that game that you've been playing for years, trying to prove that you're the best to Dad. Dad's removed that. Who are you after Dad dies?
Oh, they need to kill him. That's the best way to end it.
I feel like if Logan can not kill himself, but there's something that he has some knowledge that, you know what, I'm going to die on this day, and it's going to fuck you lot up.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh,
Marsha coming back and giving him a medicine, that would be interesting.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, or maybe he could be murdered or something. I don't know, but like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, but yeah.
All right, we have done episode 1.
Yay!
It was good.
Okay, look at that. An hour and 22 minutes. We've had a couple of people watching with us. If you are watching, please like. And we are back next week, Monday, 9 o'clock. Yeah, next week, Monday, 9 o'clock for Succession. But we will be back reviewing Love is Blind as well. Just need to work out the day of that. But
Friday, no? Are we not doing Friday?
I'm reviewing a theatre production on Friday.
Okay.
So we'll work out Saturday time. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you so much. And we will see you at the end of the week.
Bye.